Minister Simon Coveney last week launched his housing initiative to deal with the housing emergency that exists in the country. And he talked about having met the key stakeholders in advance. Who are they? Who did he actually meet to discuss a housing emergency that sees 140 or 160,000 families on a waiting list and over 6,000 people in homeless accommodation, and that figure growing every night? Well, he met the developers. He met the financiers, he met the bankers. He met the people who have REITs, the stakeholders who are buying up the properties from NAMA. He met all of the people who gain a lot of profit both from the housing crisis and from the so-called solutions to the housing crisis that he proposes. This is really a plan for developers by developers. And you're looking at some initiatives like fast-tracking the planning, infrastructure fund that will allow developers away with the cost of having to prepare the grounds and put in the sewage pipes and the water pipes, etc. That'll all come from public money. A housing initiative fund to buy back properties that were already belonging to the people and sold on by NAMA. We're looking for a rebate on the development levy, more tax incentives. All of the initiatives keep coming and coming and coming, and they're all about enhancing the attraction for the developers to build on public land, private property. But we want to refute that as any solution to a housing crisis. Is he talking to, for example, the homeless people who have to sleep in hostels every night? Is he even talking to local authority representatives who have to deal on a daily basis with tens of thousands of families waiting for many, many years on housing lists throughout the country? No, he's not. He's talking to developers and builders and bankers, and he's not coming up with the right solution. So what is the solution? Well, we believe that the solution is that, first of all, we have to demolish Minister Coveney's plan. And in demolishing his plan, we have to argue and push for and campaign for a massive public house building programme on public land. And that may mean having to borrow, but governments can borrow at very, very low interest rates, and if necessary, tell the European Union that we're breaking all the fiscal rules to do so. We need to look to the sort of society that was able in the 30s, 40s and 50s, despite the poverty and the lack of resources in this country, to build areas like Drimna, Ballyfermot, Tala, Granabraher and all the big working class areas around our cities. And we need to demolish this myth about social mix and the problem with social mix. There is no such a problem with social mix. The only problem there is that social problems arise because of lack of facilities, lack of money, lack of jobs, lack of infrastructure in communities. You never hear people talking about the problem with the social mix in Aylesbury Road or Foxrock, because there is no social mix there. They only accuse us of having a problem with social mix in the poorer working class areas, and it's nonsense. We don't have a problem unless we don't have jobs and unless we don't have expenditure in schools and facilities and transport in our communities. That all needs to change. It's radical, but it can be done.